Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy. Sorry about the delay, but you guys know the story. It's the kind of way it works. Now, as with the title, asking you guys, is 50 actually vintage? And before you answer that, tomorrow is my 50th. So we were out in California with the family, did the family Thanksgiving thing. We kind of just hung out, and Saturday I had plans to golf with friends, and that's at least what I thought. And so I'm golfing with friends, and my friend says, "Hey, I'll just pick you up and we'll drive back together." So we're driving back together. He's like, I'm gonna come in and, say hi to everyone. So we go inside my son's house and got the surprise, everyone, surprise. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they had taken the time, Jenna and everyone took the time to really plan out to bring people together, friends and family. Of course, they didn't bring everyone, which is not their fault. It's just things kind of come up, life comes up. And unfortunately, there's just no way it's possible to bring my other friends to such a party, which is you guys. So I just kind of wanted to maybe just started off with that to just pretty much include you guys, even though you weren't part of the festivities, that wanted to at least start off the conversation saying, is 50 vintage? And I don't feel vintage. I feel
some days he does,
maybe frumpy, but but I don't feel a whole lot different than I did 10 years ago, to be honest with you. So that's the good news. And so just wanted to, bring you guys along and just at least, include you guys in the celebration, even though there's no cake, and they had some good food too. Good friends, good food, good conversation, and almost brought me to tears. So, and I was very, very shocked and surprised when everyone jumped out. So want to say, thank you to Guide Guru. It says, "What's up, guys? Awesome weekend of sales. Sending some of that your way." Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, I'm not going to complain about sales. We had a ton of packages. And Josh just sent me a happy birthday text. So thanks, Josh. That's tomorrow, by the way. But not a lot of really great sales days. But because we had Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this morning, we had quite a bit of packages between both accounts. So it was quite a bit of stuff. The mailman hasn't come yet, right?
No.
He's got 3 big Santa bags to pick up. He's going to be happy. Today's a lot better. It's $419 today. So Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is historically been a pretty good day for sales for us. Of course, last year you can't really talk about that. That was just horrendous. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. Most people are online looking for the last minute deals, the last minute carryover deals from Black Friday. And I got to tell you guys, there's a lot of good things. If this is the time right now to really, as resellers, if you're serious about your business, to really focus on building your business, you need things that's going to help you be efficient. Now, for me, it's this thing right here. It's a heat gun. Now, I picked this thing up on Amazon on a Black Friday Cyber Monday deal for $28. And this thing has this thing can get really hot, too hot for what we need it for. But for sticker removal, we get a lot of, in liquidation, we get a lot of stickers, just tape that's out of control. I think Walmart, they teach us, the first thing they teach their employees on how to tape excessively. So that's very helpful. Picked up another scale for in here because I had 2 scales, and one's in the garage, one's in the shipping room. And when I'm in here running labels, I like to verify. And so I will.
I have that one that's on I have 2 on my desk.
But one is out of control. It doesn't work. It's wigs. You put something on there,
well,
and
let's just throw it away.
Well, we are. You put it on there and it changes weights, and you have to sit there and wait for it for 20 seconds to change his mind. So picked up a scale for $23 with the digital extension that, you don't have to lift the package to see the weight. You can have it set up away from where the package is so that it will accommodate larger boxes and things like that. So I think today, or this, Cyber weekend or Black Friday weekend, is really the best last minute for buyers that are buying for their business. I did pick up another necessity. It took me a little while to pull the trigger, but picked up a better monitor system. I have 2 monitors right now, having 1 monitor in its place, and then we'll move these into her listing area. I think is probably a good investment. With the deals you're getting right now, you just can't beat them. So unfortunately, these sales didn't carry over to my store, but hopefully they carried over pretty well for you. Now, one last thing I want to kind of talk about before I get off the soapbox, and that is, you guys, I'm sure everyone has heard by now, IRS has given us another reprieve. And I say us, resellers, gig workers. If you do not meet the 200 item or 200 transaction and $20,000 threshold in sales, then you will not get a 1099. And now the thing is, there's a couple caveats to that. You will not get a 1099 from these sites like Mercari, eBay, Poshmark. The caveat being, if you're in a state that has a different threshold set for your state taxes, then you're probably going to get one. And the other caveat is, there's no law saying that these sites can't issue you one anyway. And once they issue you one, better believe the copy of that's going to the government. And they're going to expect some report of that income. Now, I'm not a CPA, but for me, that's just kind of how I've seen things. So just keep your eyes open. I think they have until the end of January to get it cut, get it sent out to you either digitally or in the mail. So just keep your eyes open, and don't be surprised if you get one when you think you might not qualify for that 20,000 threshold. So they're kicking the can. Next year, they're looking at making it $5,000 instead of $600. But don't be surprised, and this is what I've kind of watched some other tax people talk about. Don't be surprised if that's just a way to eventually get it back down to $600 by 2025. So, here we are. And I'm not going to get involved in there's 2 sides of the coin. Us resellers who've been paying their taxes, been dealing with the 1099s because we're over the threshold, and we just report anyway. That's one side of the coin. And the folks that are like, I don't have to report my taxes this year, which that's another side of the coin. And I'll let you guys figure out what side you're on. I'm not here to try to influence anything on that. That's not my business. Just simply here to tell you that they kind of caved in, just like they did last year. It was a little later in the year. I think it was like middle part of December. And look, it's eBay, all these companies together trying to save a lot of their business. I mean, think about it. A lot of these people get 1099s for the first time, and now they have to report it, and now they're out of pocket. Maybe they didn't pull money out for taxes or whatever. That's going to make people think twice to list on the platform again, or whatever platform they're selling on. Now, you might think, well, less resellers, that's a good thing. But a lot of these resellers are buyers as well. I think that eBay just doesn't want to lose a lot of this business. And we, as sellers, are eBay's customers, and they're really, I don't think, looking forward to losing more buyers and sellers on the platform. So that's what I have to say. Yes, it's usually my 10-minute diatribe, but you know what? Bear with me. It's my birthday week. Tomorrow's my birthday, 50 years. So I cannot believe that I'm this darn old, to be honest with you. But I'm thankful that you guys are here with us. So thank you for that. We have Brian H. says, hello, John, Jenna, and everyone. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I think it went well. Right. Family, food. What can more?
There were no major fights. There were no.
Are there usually though with your family? No, not really.
Some families do.
There's characters in the family for sure, but there's pretty much. My predictions were absolutely spot on. That the father-in-law, I think the only thing he said to me is when they were leaving in the evening, and he said, "Bye, John." And I said, have a good one. I mean, he had every opportunity to talk. And, every time I've in the past said, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it doesn't, he kind of just says, oh, I'm fine, and just keeps to himself. So I just didn't, I was so busy with 2 turkeys and doing all that stuff. I didn't have time to socialize anyway. So we have Mark Suddick says, John and Jenna, hope you had a good Thanksgiving weekend in California. How have sales been for everyone? I had bad weekend, only 1 sale. I hit the like button, hope it changes things. Everyone hit it now. Yes, hit the like button. I don't know why or how it works, but people report sales soon after hitting the like button within 24 hours. The way it works, you're going to get a sale. I just don't know how it works. Maybe it's just putting the karma out there, but hit it. It doesn't take much more than any more effort than anything else that you're going to do while you're watching the live. Ping G says, hello, Brian and Mark and everyone else. Ran 15% markdown sale on my whole store. Nada. Then 2 purchases after the sale was over. Go figure. Yeah, it's hard to say. I ran a markdown sale, double what I normally run on both stores. Honestly, it started off pretty well. We had really good days last Monday and Tuesday. I got to tell you guys, it's almost like eBay knows when I'm gone. And maybe, of course, they do know. If they don't get any activity from the IP here and they're only getting it from my cell phone. Now, I'm not saying that eBay does this. I'm just saying, just like anything in life, it seems like this happens whenever I do XYZ. And that's kind of what I'm saying. I notice that's what happens. There's probably no correlation whatsoever, but it always seems to happen that way. And of course, as soon as I get home, we got home yesterday. I kind of did a little bit of eBay because we were just dead tired. Came home really late Saturday night after the party, and did some work yesterday. And this morning, sales are back. So I don't know. It's just me. But I kind of feel like I'm under the gun. We have a good solid 3 weeks for Christmas purchases. And I got stuff I need to get up. And I'm feeling kind of crunched, especially when we have friends coming into town in about 2 weeks. So we have Daniel Lesage from Baton Rouge. Says, hi, guys. Great news for us sellers who have not had too many sales this year with the 1 more year delay. IRS, you go. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people happy about it, but at some point, guys, this isn't going to be this isn't going to be the norm. So at some point, you're going to be expected within some type of threshold. It has to be more than $600. Someone has a yard sale. Someone, well, not a yard sale, but someone has a yard sale on eBay or clears out their house on eBay, or just the casual seller to make them go through all the 1099 forms. I can understand why the idea is very stressful. But if you're doing it on a higher level than that, $5,000, that number seems to me to be a fair number. It's going to, I think, bring a lot more people at ease as far as understanding that I've got $5,000 to work with. Yeah, you should be reporting it anyway, but at least there's a more realistic threshold to use. Now, Ping G says sellers should be filing a Schedule C to itemize your deductions so you end up paying 0 or very little on your sales. And of course, again, I'm not a CPA, but things like, investing in your business. Okay, you make so much money on eBay, and you offset that when you do your taxes with your cost of goods, your eBay fees, your shipping, which also includes your return shipping labels, your supplies. We talk about a lot of things. We don't really mention supplies a lot. I mean, we talked about supplies on my video this morning, not using cereal boxes, investing in actual supplies that's not only going to make you look more professional, but it's going to ensure that your item gets there in the same fashion it was supposed to be. And I think a lot of people just try to take the cheap way. Invest in your business, guys. If you're taking this seriously, you're trying to make this thing grow, treat it like a business. Any business out there is going to invest in supplies. Some don't even care how much they pay, to be honest. I've worked many years with a company that paid $500 for an office chair times 500 chairs. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. The chairs they gave us were horrible.
Yeah, supposedly they were supposed to be good for our backs,
Yeah.
but no.
I could have saved them easily 50%. Let me buy your darn chairs. I'd get you a deal for $250 for a chair, and they'd be a lot better than the stuff that they gave us. Now, I think maybe that's intentional. You know, they give you each department X amount of dollars to spend per year, and they expect them to spend it. And I'm not in that position. I'm sure you're not. But at the same time, anything you can do to bring down your tax bill is, and investing in your business. Would you rather give it to Uncle Sam, or would you rather put it back into your business? I think is the mentality.
Yeah, it seems like every December since 2019, every December, John goes on this major, stock up, replace, sales extravaganza, and then we write it all off that following year.
Yeah, just you have your receipts. You have your receipts throughout the year. Have one of these little receipts. We have way more than that. Yeah, I mean, most of the receipts we have are digital, but
yeah,
I keep that, because at the end of the year you need it. Now I do my own taxes. I think many should use CPAs, but I've been doing my taxes forever. And it works out really well. But there's a lot of different things that go along with it, like the size of the room that you use. We have multiple rooms and the garage dedicated to the business. So the size of that, there's a formula that really gives you a nice deduction. How about your miles? You keeping track of your miles, that kind of thing. So these are all things that you can do. But today, specifically Cyber Monday, if there's things that you've been needing for your business and you kind of been just putting off, today is probably the best time you're going to get a deal. Lenny says, hi, John and Jenna and chat. Thanks for being here, Lenny. Gail Carlson says, hello, John, Jenna, and Flippin' family. We have Rain Galaro says, hi, John and Jenna. Hope you're feeling better this week, Jenna.
Oh, yes. Much better than last week.
Yeah.
Last week that was terrible.
Yeah, good thing it didn't carry over into the trip. That wouldn't have been fun.
Yeah, it was really helpful to actually, John made me lay in bed the whole day. And so basically, I think that's what I needed. And so that's what I did.
Yeah, if your body's telling you that something ain't right, listen to it and give it a chance to kind of get back. And the last thing you want to do, a lot of people, they work sick, and instead of taking a day off, I will work sick, but if I'm really bad and I know it, I'll just stop. Okay. But I think a lot of us work in that condition instead of just giving our bodies a chance to kind of give it a break. Charles McBride says, what would you do if you ship a high dollar item ensured it did all the correct things that eBay expects you to do, and the customer signs for it, says the box is empty, an email rolled in his favor? An email rolled in his favor. Well, okay. An email ruled in his favor? Probably eBay ruled in his favor. I don't know. Someone ruled in their favor.
Wow.
Well, that's just it. If they're signing for it,
that's disheartening.
I don't know if the carrier, I think the carrier will bring it to their attention, maybe put in a little baggie saying, sorry, this was opened, right? It sounds to me like you're going to need to file a claim on the package, because especially if you insured it and it got there in that condition. Now, if eBay has filed in the buyer's favor, you can dispute it, contact the dispute department, put in a dispute for that claim found in the buyer's favor. But I would be going on to USPS, if that's how you shipped it, and filing a claim for that and stating that it did not. And hopefully the buyer is able to give you some photos to support that, so you can at least show if you're asked. I don't really recall ever being asked, but it's good to have that information. Belinda Schlack says, hi, John and Jenna, listening while decorating for Christmas. Trying to get this out of the way so I can get back to listening. Awesome. Trying to get Jenna into decorating a little bit, but just this whole empty nest thing, I think, is kind of making her feel blah about the whole.
Well, we have a giant, our tree is 10 feet tall. Okay. Yes. And it's a very large tree. And usually Tyler is the one that helps me.
We're talking decorating it. Decorating it. Because I'll help you pull the thing. We'll pull the thing off.
He puts it together, and then I decorate it.
Right.
Well, I don't dare ask him to help with that stuff because it's pulling him away from the business. So it's just, and plus we don't normally go away out of town for Thanksgiving. This was a rarity because of the surprise party. Normally we would stay home and the kids would come home for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, and we would have a meal and we would make, the meal here. Well, because of his birthday and how special it is, I made it. I didn't really put up a fight when they said, "Hey, why don't you come out for Thanksgiving?" So we made that happen. But normally we stay here. Christmas decorations are already up for Thanksgiving, and then Christmas we go to California. Right. Well, this year we went to California for Thanksgiving. We're going to be going to California for Christmas. We have an entire week of festivities during December with our friends that are coming out to Vegas.
The whole cowboy Christmas thing.
Cowboy NFR Christmas is going to be a whole week thing. And so there's just not enough reason for me to have the decorations here at home. Right. I'd rather just wait until I know that the kids are coming out next year. I'll do it next year. It'll be a better place for Tyler to be able to fly in from Texas to visit. So next year would be better. This year is just to, I'm still trying to get through Tyler not being here. It's been a lot. We've had a lot of things going on. We still have family members who are not doing well this season. And so, it's been a rough year. And so we're just trying to close out the year, and it's still life keeps kicking you down. So, I'd rather just focus on the business, get through this month and December, and then start fresh in January.
So we have Rhiannon's with us. Says, "Hey, John and Jenna and chat. Thanks for being here." And we have Maya says, "The automated system always rules in the buyer's favor. Did eBay already close the return? Or are you still waiting for the customer to ship the item back?" Now, whatever they did, if eBay gave you a deadline to act, maybe they like a return request, which it should have been a return request. The buyer just can't say, "Okay, it was opened. I need my money back." It doesn't work that way. They can say item not received, and then you'd have to show the tracking. Tracking would show a delivery scan, and then eBay would find in your favor. If the buyer went and did a return, then they have to send you something back. And then you're acting at every step of the way, you're acting within the deadline. If eBay steps in, chances are not only did you not act within a deadline that they've given you, but you may even have a defect to go with that. Are you right?
Yeah.
Okay. So something to consider, something I would check on while you're disputing it. Hey, by the way, did this give me a defect? Because if eBay steps in for any reason to handle something, even if it's something that eBay caused, like I had a situation where I couldn't refund anyone, it wouldn't let me do it. They had to go in and do it on my behalf. eBay went in and gave me a defect that I had to dispute. So something to consider. Flippin' Goods with us says, "Hello, thanks for being here." Maya says, "Also, did the customer open it as an item not received or an INAD?" So item not received request is a little bit different than an INAD. It's INAD has to do with a return. Item not received is just that. So there's both cases require the seller to really take action by a certain date. Let's see. Ping says he filed an item not as described. So there has to be a return opened to then they have to send something back. You can give a refund without receiving something back, but there has to be some tracking on a return label that you provide. Andy says, is it with us from Indiana in the house? Hello, FAE family. Thanks for being here, Andy. Joe Samard says, "Howdy all. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you did too." AJ13 or AJI3, I still don't know which one it is. John's late. Guess he finally quit YouTube. No, it's going to take a lot for me to ever consider quitting YouTube. I enjoy doing the videos. Of course, it's sort of a mix of, good and bad, with, a lot of the good comments. Some of the bad, hateful comments, I think really puts a damper on it. But, Josh and I, we keep plugging away on the Power Hour podcast, and I'm not going to allow, the negative comments to really keep us from talking about things that may be somewhat controversial, but I think sometimes need to be said, whether you agree with it or not. What's wrong with having a conversation about it? Mm-hmm. Ping says, hello, John and Jenna. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And Josh says, good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here, Josh. And
he said, or Jenna is still doing her hair. No, my hair was done by 1:00.
We did have a hiccup though with all the shipping and stuff that we had to do. It was really FedEx. Anybody do their labels on FedEx.com? I'm telling you, this entire morning through the first part of the afternoon, it was down. I was scrambling. We just got done with the shipping before the deadline, 2:00 when they came. FedEx came and picked up the stuff, so it worked out. But I was sweating it. Henri Squaw says, happy birthday. Thank you. Brian H says 50 is the new 35. Let's hope. Tommy Antique. Love it. Very few of us get to be called an antique. That's for sure. Let's see. Bobbles Blings, Needful Things. Lissa says, hey there, Miss Ping G. I'm sure you meant to say hello to everyone as well. Andy says, happy early birthday, old man. Joe Samard says, happy birthday, John. And hi, chat from JRKR. And then Scott, Bearded Picker, you can officially make grunts and noises when you get up and down now.
He already does.
Too late. I've been doing that for years. Tommy says, how did the promoted listings talk go with the father-in-law? Went as well as I told you it did. Didn't go well at all. I mean,
Dad.
We had the football game on, and I was in the kitchen. I was running back and forth between a turkey on the smoker and a turkey in the oven. And then what normally happens is you have 1,000 people in the kitchen when you're trying to cook. Just even if there was time, I'm sure the conversation wouldn't have gone anywhere, but I just didn't have time to sit and chat, at least on that day. Rain says, happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that. NPC Oasis says, good evening, good peoples. Yes, thanks for being here. And we have Midnight Merchant says, happy flipping birthday. Awesome. Thank you. Jackie Bleckner says, hello, all. Happy birthday. Thank you. Dean Funderburg says, hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. We have the Tire Man. I don't know who that is. Happy birthday, John. Thanks, Belinda. Oh, yeah. Do we talk about that? No, we don't talk about that. We'll talk about it at some point. I really, it's one of those things I really want to talk about, but there's people who are behind that thing that I really don't want to bring to light. It has a lot to do with that. A lot of that going on still. If you understand what Tire Man is all about, it's that subject. Rhiannon says, I don't believe it. You both look like you're in your 30s. Well, thank you.
Oh, wow.
See, I try to tell people that, but
I wish I was in my 30s.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Dean says, happy birthday, John. Oh, thank you. Lissa says, happy half a century. Gosh, you make it sound so long. Happy birthday.
50
Thanks for
years
being here.
is long.
It is.
So why don't you show them your card?
Do you want me to go get it?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So
Let me get it.
So just to preface what he's going to bring. So in all the decorations, so the theme of the birthday, so the surprise birthday party was vintage, vintage old man or something like that. And basically it goes back to 1973, the year he was born. And it says what things cost back in the day. And his daughter was floored.
So that kind of stuff. It talks about the sports teams, the movies that were released, the music, what things cost, the presidents, the Oscars, different things. That's pretty cool. I thought it was cool.
So
and everyone signed it, and we had, and then it said 5 decades, 50 years, basically 1.5 billion seconds. So
yeah.
that makes me feel really young.
Yeah. So I had to have our daughter order all the decorations I wanted through her Amazon account because Mr. Nosy Nosebot right here questions everything I buy. So when she got it, I said, open it and make sure everything is in there. She did. She opened it up and she saw the card and she's like, oh my God, gas was only 40 cents a gallon. I can't believe my dad is that old.
Now, in my defense, since I seem to need defense here while I'm still on the right side of 50, when she goes on and she starts buying stuff where I source for merchandise and I find stuff for her in the stuff that I'm buying, of course, what the hell is this? This is for my purchases for the business, not for the Jenna.
But my question to you is, would you rather me pay full price or get it at the deal that we get it?
I would rather you not surprise
$1,
me.
$2, or $3 maybe.
The only surprise I ever want is what I got on Saturday with the surprise party. I don't want surprise. I want communication.
Well, that wasn't without having to hide and lie a lot for a while. And
that I understand. That I understand. But it's, like more nail polish, really, Jenna? Okay.
Yes, a girl can't have enough nail polish.
We have Carolyn, Bling Bling Factor Australia. Hi, J&J and FA fam. I hope you are doing great.
Aw,
yeah,
thank you.
We are. Thank you for asking. And then Guy Guru says, just got back from the thrift. It looked like no reseller had touched the shirt rack in weeks. I picked up like 30 shirts and they were all fire.
Wow.
There you go.
That's
you just
awesome.
got to know what to look for. You know, one shirt that could be fire. The other one could be like, what?
Should be thrown in the
used
fire.
tire. Mary Knight says, happy birthday, John. Thanks for being here, Mary. Appreciate the kind words. We have Guy Guru saying, like 5 of those were single stitch.
Oh, those shirts.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I understand about that now. Urethra Franklin says, John and Jenna, hello. Thanks for being here. And Steven from the Bargain Barn says, that heat gun is Harbor Freight heat gun. You can get a 20% discount if you went through Harbor Freight. But 20% discount off of what? I mean, we have 2 of these now, the Porter cable ones. We bought them both on Amazon. I think I paid $40 for the first one because those small little ones with just one switch, those last like a year and then they die out, right? So I'm tired of buying those $15 ones like every year. And to get the Porter cable one that's worked well for us all this time, that's a heck of a deal. $28 shipped.
Sometimes it's not worth buying the cheap, inexpensive crap that's going to die in a year. And John has learned that the hard way.
But I think that there's a like maybe, I don't know if you think that the Harbor Freight stuff is, I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with Harbor Freight. I know what you're talking about, but I really don't buy from there. But I can tell you, I have a Porter cable drill, works great. We've had it for at least 10 years. This one that we bought in 2021, and it's been great.
I love that heat gun. I use it every single day when we're doing shipping. I take off all the labels that are still left on all the boxes.
Urethra says, happy birthday, John. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. Tommy says, that explains most YouTubers' eBay sales. They don't really suck. They just want to avoid 200 sales in a year. Got it. Yeah, I can't speak for anyone else. I can say that it's just been part of my routine. I do know of folks in the business who do not file taxes and haven't done in years, but that's not my business. I certainly keep records and everything because I don't want problems with the IRS. That's the last thing you ever want, is to have to deal with that. Rockin' Yard Sale says, hello, thanks for being here. Maya says, also, guys, if you ever sell through PayPal, GNS, they can send you one too. They always send me one since my state has a $600 threshold.
In California, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if that's No, I don't think California is the one. That sounds more like Massachusetts or something like
I
that.
think Maya's in California.
Are you? Okay.
Maya, let me know.
But yeah, it's based on the state and federal. So federal is not requiring it, but if you're in a state that has a certain threshold, then it doesn't matter what's happening with this. All this entire discussion means nothing. You're going to have to report it because you're going to get a 1099 distributed to the state and the federal under your either your tax ID or your social security number. And if you report X amount of dollars,
she lives in Maryland.
Okay, X amount of dollars,
wow,
and X amount of dollars is reported to the government, you're going to get one of those letters. Now, I can tell you, I've received one of those letters from back in 2019, where we had a little situation where we had, with that whole severance package thing, we had extra 1099s, and 2 of them were not given to us. And it was like a clerical error, but we were reporting what we received there in addition to the other things we were doing on the side. But those 2 forms we didn't have, and we were totally oblivious to. And the IRS came knocking for their money. So
yep, they had to get their cut.
Yep, it was like 2 years later. So it definitely was a surprise. A lot of phone calls to figure out what the heck, because we thought we had all of our paperwork squared away, and just turned out we didn't get all the paperwork we're supposed to get. Sarah says, it is not unheard of to request an amendment to the 1099. If you receive one, the IRS probably received the other part from the issuer. Yeah, but you want to make sure that there's no surprise. If you have a different number than what the IRS is showing, it's going to make them, it quite possibly could trigger something. So you want to make sure you're really making sure that you're not only reporting the side income that's not 1099, but definitely make sure that that money that's being 1099 is also on your taxes. Guide Guru says, make sure to deduct the cost of those cereal box purchases. Yes. Is that with or without the cereal and the toy inside? Can I deduct for the toy if I take that out? Tommy says, half a century isn't old. I mean, compared to dinosaurs. Well, in all fairness, Tommy, I think that you're probably in my neck of the woods age-wise. If I had to guess, I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say we're pretty close. Sarah says, I file returns. My busy season is here. Okay. It's coming up real soon. Lisa says, I buy everything I really need off eBay. It's my go-to store, rather eBay than Walmart or Amazon. Yeah, I hear you, but for me, I'm still price sensitive. Maybe it's the cheapskate in me, right? It's me being cheap. Okay, I'll say it. I'm a cheapskate. Tight ass. All right.
Ass.
Fine. You got it out of me. I just didn't want to go there, but I went there. If I can save money on the same item, I'm going to do it. And I think that might be why there's a lot of people out there like me. That's probably why my sales are down this week. There's a lot of very, very good sales going on this last week. And I don't know what kind of sales are going to continue beyond today. But as a buyer I've had good experiences on Amazon. I haven't had good experiences on eBay. So that also figures into my equation. And that kind of scares me a little bit. I think I'm a reasonable person when it comes to buying. And if someone like me who relies on eBay doesn't even trust buying from there, what do you think our average buyer kind of feels about the whole thing? They just had a couple bad transactions where they got no reply on their messages, and they got, frosted flakes in the mail.
Without the flakes.
Yeah. So, I just think that it's a really huge thing that sellers should really focus on collectively doing the things we can do. Let's stop talking about seller strikes. Let's stop bickering at each other about, who's spending too much on promoted listings or not enough. I mean, I think a lot of times we talk about it to get the conversation started, but let's stop being crappy to one another and figure out what things we can do individually to make the collective community of resellers better. And it's going to improve eBay, the platform. And you know what? By changing some of your practices, it's going to keep buyers on the platform so other people can get those sales. So just something to think about. It was the spirit of my video that I put out this morning. Maya says, my family didn't have a lot of drama either. I think it was the first no politics Thanksgiving dinner we had in years. And we didn't talk anything about politics.
No, well, it's kind of a written rule in our family is we do not talk about politics, nor do we talk about anything else that could be controversial in that manner.
Yeah, because you have people from all different sides in that family, and it wouldn't be pretty.
Yeah, it went down that road one time, not at a holiday, but at just a regular gathering, and it didn't go well for a lot of people. And so it's just a written rule. We don't talk about it.
Yeah. And then Jeff Zenick says, hi, John and Jenna, folks. Happy birthday, John. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Yes. And the older you get, the faster time seems to go. Maybe it's just me, but I doubt it. It seems like every year, I can remember when I was a kid, and it seemed like it took forever for Christmas to get here. Mm-hmm. Now it's like January, here's Christmas.
Well, that's like I have twin nieces, Cora and Finley, and I said to them, because they were upset because we were leaving, and so I said to them, I will see you in 4 weeks. And then my sister, of course, chimes in and says, no, it's 3.5 weeks. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. They're only 5. And so, they're like, why so many weeks, Auntie? Why do you have to wait so many weeks? And I said, believe me, it will fly by.
Well, not for them, but for you, probably, yes. Right? Sarah's had 0 eBay sales last week, normally at least 3 a day.
Wow.
And I just really think, look, we're up against...
These sales really kill us every year.
We're up against more competition with these cyber sales, unless you're really able to be aggressive with your prices. We upped our markdown sale to like 20% from 10%, which isn't anything compared to some of these sales you're seeing. And we're talking about goods that people that are new, people want, buying for. We're going to be doing a lot of that shopping tonight, more of that tonight, before it expires for gifts, right? So you're up against that competition. Now, more people would be on eBay than Amazon had it not been for the cyber sales or the Black Friday sales. So I really think for many, unless you're dealing with like collectibles or postcards or things that you have no competition directly with on other platforms, then it's not going to really affect you much. And then we have, bear with me a second here. I don't want to get lost in place. We have Duncan VR says, and thank you for the super chat, Duncan. I appreciate you. Says Jenna is looking well again. Here's 10 for the Taco Tuesday fun. I got a flashing toilet seat in a cereal box. Not happy. I always get the order after finishing packing. It has to wait till the next day. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad that our shipping's done. But thank you, Duncan.
Thank you, Duncan. That was sweet.
Yes, we will put it towards the Taco Tuesday fund. I think
because we're not going to go out to dinner for his birthday on his birthday. Yeah. We're going to go on Wednesday. And where are we going?
You tell them. You tell me.
I thought we were going to. No, it's not my choice. It's your birthday.
This is more for you than me.
My birthday's in January. Mm-hmm. I will pick them.
Okay. So what do you want? Loves lobster. So we're going to the Palms, and they have on Wednesdays and Thursdays, they have like this lobster prime rib buffet, crab legs, and all that stuff.
Seafood.
And it's supposed to be off the hook, and it's $65. Can't beat it for what you're getting. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to go do that.
Yeah.
So, but today and tomorrow, we definitely.
But tomorrow will be tacos.
Yeah, I think so.
It's Taco Tuesday. We usually have tacos some day of the week. Anyway.
Let's see if I can get back on track, so I'm not repeating myself here.
Right there.
Guy Guru ran a 10% markdown sale. Could be why I had such a strong weekend. A markdown sale should always be part of your arsenal, no matter what time of year you're selling. Maybe a little bit more aggressively during the whole week of Black Friday. One of the things I was thinking of, because I set my sales up I do them in 2-week increments. I do them 6 months out. I usually end them on Sunday night, and I should have kept this week's sale going into Monday, and I failed to do that. I realized this morning, but I had $400 something in sales today, so it's not that bad. NPC Oasis says likes on this stream guarantee at least one extra sale in 72 hours confirmed.
72?
Heck, that's giving me a lot of leeway there.
I know.
Yeah.
We're guaranteed to get one then.
Josh says, hi, John and Jenna. I ran a 30% Black Friday week sale and a ton sold. I'm running another 2-day Cyber Monday sale now, and we'll see how it goes. I think that's a great strategy. And, you know, we're trying to get rid of the stuff in our secondary store. We're going to start. I took some time. I sat at, I think it was on Friday. We had a little downtime. I got the laptop out, which I brought the laptop, and I'm going through every album, like 225 listings, and I'm categorizing them by genre on this notepad on a Word document. And I'm going to go in here this week, and we're just going to lot them up and get rid of those items. I'm just trying to get rid of the merchandise so we can convert the store over to a sporting goods store or anything related to sports we sell. The Scrinnel Octopus says, good morning, humans. Yes, and I hope you're not wearing that outfit. I really hope you're not wearing it all the time, just while you're on camera.
Of course he is.
Midnight Merchant says, who's got the deals on boxes and shipping supplies today? That's a good question. I can tell you. I know you get 10% off your bubble mailers and your poly mailers. Check out the link down below at GyroPack. They're one of the sponsors of the channel. You get 10% off, and their prices are already low. So definitely do that.
And the quality is amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Devon says, hello.
Devon.
Thanks for being here, Devon. Guy Guru says, American Bubble Boy is giving out free gifts. They gave me a $25 gift certificate.
Say what?
Oh, interesting.
Did you order
I ordered
tape?
your tape, and I didn't get no gift. So what's that about?
What's that about,
Mary
Joel?
Knight says, ran 25% off this weekend, and it's still going. Not much sales. Just going to accept that it's not going to be a good season. Yeah. The retailers, your Walmarts, your Amazons are already reporting that it's going to be a slower than usual year. So why should it be any different for us? Some people on eBay, depending on what you're selling, aren't going to feel any impact because of that. Their sales are going to be normal, where others are really going to feel it, especially if you've sold for many years. You have something to compare it to. If you did well last year and you're not doing well this year, you're going to feel it more. Jerry says, hi, everyone. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Last week, buyer finally received the item. eBay closed the request as no contact from him. I've officially blocked him. Yeah, but at the same time, if you're not selling in a niche, it's probably not even, he's probably not even going to buy again from you anyway. I don't get a lot of repeat buyers, but in his defense, anyone who's looking at the dates that eBay's giving, saying, hey, it says I was supposed to get it by now. Let's say this buyer's had a bad experience before, and they're maybe have a quick trigger finger on the item not received button. Well, who's to blame buyers like that? I don't think that there's anyone just trying to be nasty or anything like that. Just someone wanting their item. So I'm not sure that is worthy of a block, but nonetheless, I block people for less. So it is what it is. Scott Schendel says, should be like 10K.
600.
It should be around that. I think 5K is where they're at. I think you have one side of the aisle that says 10K is what they're wanting, and the other side of the aisle says there shouldn't even be a requirement. Mary Knight says, in the meantime, just taking advice while figuring out how to clear existing inventory. Well, what we're doing is we're going to lot stuff out. I noticed, like with these cars, these new old stock NASCARs, bikes, and all that stuff. We're just putting them in like lots of like 5 to 10, and those are selling pretty well. I've already recouped what I've got into that lot anyway. We still got a lot of it left. We're just going to lot it out, sell it for $40-50 plus shipping, and that seems to go over pretty well. So I think your lower ASP items can really do well if you can lot them up, like a lot of 10 instead of an individual item. Sell it as a lot of 10. someone might need that in large quantities, and you're saving them money as compared to buying it every 2 weeks or whatever. Midnight Merchant says, thanks, Guru. And a rockin' yard sale says, my sales have been really good, low for most of you, but all good for me. This is my first year as a business. This week's number is just over $1,500. That's awesome. I like that.
Very
and
nice.
you know, you don't have to have 20 plus years of reselling experience to do well. I think the idea that, you know, people keep throwing around a number, oh, I've been doing this 20 years, and therefore I, you know, not only should I have a little special button that I should be wearing that says I've been doing this 22 years, I'm somehow better and more deserving of sales than other people. New sellers that do things, just the basics, just cover the basics, you're going to do well. You know, you are going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball, and that maybe you're above standard. You're not top rated. You're not going to have that in your favor. But if you have good stuff at a good price with a good title, good listing, even new people can make money. So good on you for doing that. Jerry Johnson says, I had a sale on Thanksgiving and one today for Cyber Monday. NPC Oasis, if you reinvest all your money, you owe 0 in taxes. So yes, because that goes along. Anything you buy for your business is the same thing as buying goods to resell. It's the cost of doing business. So that's why I always wonder why people get upset when they have a situation. I bought an item for $10 to sell for 50. I got scammed out of this $50. The buyer got their money and they got to keep the item. And they're so caught up on, you know, losing that $50. But really, you only lost 10 plus the shipping, right? And that is all deducted anyway. You know, that money that you give the buyer back, that's refunded to the buyer. It's not counted in your revenue for the year anyway. But that $10 plus shipping is an expense that you can deduct at the end of the year. And I think the people that get that are the ones looking at the long-term picture, and those that don't and let it bother them are looking at today, looking at this week, and not, in my opinion, now you're going to roast me, that's fine. But this is from a seller that feels this way, that you're not seeing the bigger picture. And I kind of question, are you running a business or are you selling just as a hobby? Kind of halfway into the whole business idea. You got to really embrace it. Sucks. You know, the returns suck. The getting scammed sucks. It stings sometimes. You know, maybe it's a higher dollar amount. But if you look at it as not this number, maybe it's $1,000 item. But if you're making $100,000 in sales in the year, it's just part of the bigger picture. Diane says the $5,000 threshold will allow the IRS to audit those that haven't filed in the past years before they decide to drop it down further. Yeah, I honestly don't know what their true intentions are behind that, to be honest with you. I do believe that I saw a report saying that something like billions of dollars, I don't know the exact number, but billions of dollars in tax revenue that the IRS isn't getting because people don't report. And that's kind of what they're... you know, they like to spend our money. And so when they spend the money, they got to find more ways of getting the money in their coffers. And I think that's part of the plan. Maya says, well, how do you not get audited if you have 0 for profits? I think that would trigger an audit. You have, according to what I read, the first 3 years of a business, you're allowed to lose. Okay. So if you've been in business for 4 or 5 years and you're reporting no profits, that's going to draw some red flags. So something that you want to consider. How long you've been doing this? If you've been doing this for 10 years and you develop a business model where you're just bringing in 0 profit, of course it's going to draw your attention to someone. So maybe you shouldn't do that. Bring in some kind of a profit if you can, but don't give it all away to the government. Is kind of what I'm saying. Scott says, bought a new MacBook last year. That's a write-off. Yep. It sure is. You know, provided that you're not gaming and all that stuff, you're using it for business. For me, this fancy new monitor I'm bringing in, it's going to allow me the same operation. I can split the screens, do the things that I normally do. I don't game, so it's 100% a business thing.
But isn't it a gaming.
It is a gaming. It's a
screen.
gaming, but you can do so many things with in quadrants of the monitor. You can put it into it's just so many things that you can do with the software that's included. I don't game in here.
No, I know.
I don't game, so it's not a. This is not a. This office
I know
is truly
you
a
don't
business
game
office.
at all.
Well, we have an Xbox, and we.
But that doesn't mean anything.
But I just don't play. I don't play
Not
games
anymore.
in my time. Devon says, I'm keeping all my receipts. Yes,
You
that's
should.
always a good idea. Lawrence says, question on Mercari, when you make a sale, then they make up the label. What if the info on that label is not right, like the weight and the measurements? Is there a way of changing the info? No, there's not. You'd actually have to, from what I understand, you have to actually go in, cancel the sale, which gives the buyer the money back, recreate the listing with the proper dimensions on there. There's unless someone's done it. I've had someone reach out to me saying, hey, I want this shipped to a different address. I reached out to Mercari, and that's the answer they gave me. So unless there's another answer out there, that's my experience. Guy Grew says, if you're an S Corp, you have to do them every quarter. Yeah, and that's probably a reason why I haven't gone that direction. Just too much stuff involved. I'd have to probably get an accountant if that was the case. Scott says, nice buying inventory online because you'll always have that proof in your account. Yes, but I'm not always buying inventory online. I'm also doing it at yard sales. So what I'll do is I have my own fund money that I have sitting in the safe. So I'll take, let's say $500. I'll go and get change, go run to the yard sale, and okay, I only have $250 left. Well, I'll go to the bank, recoup that $250 from the ATM machine. So those are ATM transactions that are coming up. So that is something that I can use to support my case. On all these days, I use the ATM to pull out money to recoup what I bought at yard sales. Lissa says everyone needs to get one of those mileage tracker programs to be accurate for the business use thrifting dedication or deduction. I can tell you I use Everlance. I think Bearded Picker does as well. And once you have it running in the background, every time you go somewhere, it will make that as a trip, and it'll give you the option: is this business or personal? And you swipe left or swipe right, depending. And it keeps track of the mileage based on what the mile deduction is. Here's whatever you'll end up saving on your taxes. And if you go to enough yard sales, if you drive around enough, like I make a weekly trip across town to pick up stuff that I buy, and that all adds up, right? Like if you go to California, do yard sales, boom, that's a pretty hefty deduction that adds up as well. So it's a lot easier because a lot of times we don't remember, like, oh, I forgot how many miles did I just drive. I mean, realistically, who's going to keep track of every mile you drive from point A to point B on a Saturday going to yard sales? I don't think so. I don't think that's practical. Why not allow technology? I know there's a lot of people that are technology resistant. Why not allow technology to keep track of as many things as possible so that at the end of the year, you just open up the report, it'll send you a report, and you just use that number in your taxes. Ken says, I asked my crackheads if they're on top of their 1099 taxes, and one of them said she's going to use Plan B. I facepalm and went home. Wow. Let's see. Mary says to Lawrence, I believe you will have to message the buyer and cancel the sale. This is on the Mercari. That way you can edit the listing with the correct dimensions. I wish Mercari would not do it this way. Now, the other way to do it is simply figure in shipping into your price on Mercari to where you do free shipping. And then you're not tied into Mercari's shipping label. You can go to Pirate Ship, maybe do a different label, different dimensions, and then upload the tracking. So that's another way to do it. Maya says, okay, well, I just mean that do you not get audited? I assume you have the paperwork, so an audit would be okay, but I don't want to get audited. I definitely have to pay taxes as I have a regular job. Mm-hmm. I certainly, because I'm not a CPA, I can't tell you when you're going to get audited and when you're not, but I do know that the IRS does want you to make a profit after the third year. I think beginning the third year, if you're not making a profit, it's like, why are you in business? You know, is this just some kind of a, what do they call it? It's a, what do we call on Breaking Bad? What do they call that?
Money laundering?
Money laundering, something like that. It's like a front, right? Why are you in business if you're not making money? Guy Guru, Costco has larger cereal boxes. You guys, I tell you. Disgruntled Octopus says, Mrs. Octopus and I fight over who does the tree also. I drag it out. She puts it up. I mean, look, I'll help with the lights. I mean, I've done that. I think every year she's like, oh, can you help me with the lights? Can you help me with this and that? But look, I'm not really into like, okay, let's decorate it this way or decorate it that way. I leave it up to her to do, because let's face it, when it's time to buy the decorations and say, okay, what color scheme do you want to go with this year? I never win that battle. So, you know, if I'm not included there, why should I be included in the whole decorating process? That's the way I look at it.
I don't ask you to decorate. It's simply to put the tree together.
Yeah. Well, this is the first year that Tyler hasn't been here.
Right.
Tommy says, contact the Postmaster General's office, tell them what happened, and ask for all the scans and weighs of the package. It'll show the weight every time it gets to prove the scam. Yep. And have that information and contact eBay. The problem with that is, I don't know if eBay cares. I mean, if you have that information, you know, I've had many experiences where I've had all the goods, all the information to prove my side of the story, and they can't even repeat back what your side of the story is. And which is why I never contact eBay to ask for a feedback removal, because they use the same form that we all can get access to. I'd rather make my own case than rely on someone else to do it.
Yeah.
We had Guy Q says, Jenna, go get a small tree to put up, start a new tradition. I did. No, I got to say, if any tree's going up, it's that tree that she had to have last year. She had to have it. She talked me into buying it, and that's the tree that's going to go up. No One Design says, Jenna, that is where you made a mistake, getting a 10-foot tree. Get a 10-inch tree and save time.
Yeah, I could have gotten a smaller tree, but I wanted a big giant
She had to have
tree.
it. She didn't want a 6 or 7 foot tree. I tried to get one. She wouldn't want it. Brian H says, we just ordered a 4-foot tree since we are empty nesters. Nothing wrong with that. Devon says, Jenna, my son left and drove back to Montana. I have been crying nonstop. It's hard.
It is so hard. So hard.
Guy Gru always gets a 4-foot tree for my eBay room and says I decorate them with all the ornaments I have in my store. Okay, there you go.
That's a good idea.
Devon has a tree with the lights. And
you have
then
lights. No ornaments, just lights.
Tommy claims the square footage of his basement and garage, his home office every year, never once been audited. I have received, like I do my taxes through TurboTax, and they'll have like a little thing that'll pop up saying, wow, your claim square footage is a very large percentage or larger percentage than normal as compared to other people who claim home-based businesses. And it's a percentage of your total square footage of your home. But, well, it is what it is. I mean,
that's what we use.
We have a bedroom. We have a living room.
If
we have
they
a
want
kitchen.
to come over and look at it, they can.
I'm not even claiming her little area where she actually does, she does the cross posting and all that.
Yeah, I have like it's like a dining room table nook area where you would normally put a dining room table. Our kitchen is well big enough for a 6-person dining room set. Yeah. And that's where we have our kitchen table and chairs.
It's probably about an 8x8.
Not big.
It's 8x8 area, but you know what? That's dedicated really to the business. We don't report that. Last year we had the garage and this room. That's it. This year we're going to have that room as well, because that's the room that Tyler vacated. So yeah, it's just the way it is. That's I don't feel bad about taking the legitimate deductions. That's why I've always thought it's a good. I would rather have a large house, a much larger home, where you dedicate like half of it towards the business than going out and getting a warehouse and going back and forth to the warehouse and probably paying more for both than a smaller home with the warehouse. Lissa says, same Tommy, and part of utilities, cell phone, and internet. Yep, no problems ever, even part of the trash takeout. It adds up, guys. It does. But I would say don't try that on your own if you've never done it before with your taxes.
Yeah.
Certainly get a CPA involved. Have all your information ready. So your job at the beginning of the year is data collection. So you can give it to your CPA. Everything that is your, list of all your expenses, list of all your sales, that kind of thing, your 1099s, and have it ready for your CPA, unless you have an accountant that has access to that. Tommy says taxes are federal. I don't know what it is, and I think you're in Delaware. Not sure if you have state there or not. Yakov says, hey guys, thanks for being here. And then we have Meg.
Hi,
thanks for being here, Meg. Hey all. Lissa says, no one is. I've gone around with them and payment plans, learned my lesson. Maya says, I don't know, but what I may consider doing is do charitable donations at the end of the year, but I have to get these things done in advance to figure out how much to donate. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, they allow you to set the value of what you're donating. And of course, you need to make it reasonable, because that's another thing that the IRS, if you're audited, would look at and say, well, you donated this desk that you can buy at Walmart for $100, but you said it was worth $500. So this is something you have to consider. Tommy says, I had a customer put in an item not received today, ask for a refund. eBay totally took it over because I saw it, closed in my favor because it showed delivered. First time I didn't have to do anything. Yeah. I love those. If someone files an item not received and it shows a delivery scan, those are the best ones, because you're going to win more often than not. Now, that doesn't mean they can't come back and file a chargeback, but with eBay, you should be protected with seller protection. Maya says, get done my taxes and figure out how much I owe. I might end up with a refund instead, honestly. If you're pulling out money, I don't know what percentage you pull out. Generally, what I pull out is 20% throughout the year. Throw it in my savings account, that kind of thing. Send it over when I'm supposed to send it over. And at the end of the year, we'll let the math do its work. Guy Guro says, knock on wood, I haven't had very many returns this year. I've had a lot, but I don't sweat it. Devon says, I have the house to myself, and then there are the dogs. Yes, we've got the dogs. These dogs that are getting older and older every year. They're showing their age.
Yes, this one here.
He's like, what? He's like 8.
He's 7.
He's 7 going on 3. Going on 2.
He was a nightmare this weekend because, of course, we have to bring them with us.
Yeah, that's the drag. We don't have anyone at the house. So, here it is, holiday weekend. Here's the cheap side of me. Well, a couple things. I'm not ponying up $500, $600, $700 for 4 days for these dogs. And I don't want them. These guys aren't very social dogs. They haven't been around other dogs, except for the dogs that they're around at the family's house. But even then, they're afraid of them. So they don't really interact with them too often. They want to be left alone. They're not very sociable. I don't want them getting some weird dog disease from one of these kennels, and that's never an option for me. Yeah. Devon says, welcome to the 50s. Yes. It doesn't feel any different than 40, to be honest with you. Dang, I'm 47. This must be an old man gig. It's one of those, I didn't know about reselling as being the way it is. I was a reseller back in 2002 on a part-time basis, but for me, it was, you're sort of conditioned that, full-time job, 9 to 5 is the way to go. If you go do something random on the side, you're never going to make it. These are things that you're kind of conditioned to believe until you actually do it. Now, I don't think I could have back in 2002 made reselling work, going weekly to an electronics flea market, picking up maybe 20, 30 items a week. I certainly know I couldn't have done that. At no point until I'd say when I found liquidation did I even think it was possible. Devon says, John is the same age as my husband. I am older. And Brian H. says, if it makes you feel better, I was born in 1968. Wow. So 55, huh? Ashley Sims says, came in late. Happy birthday. When was it? Mine was yesterday. Well, happy birthday, Ashley.
Happy birthday, Ashley.
Mine is tomorrow. So I'm still on the right side of 50, at least for another few hours.
Just for a couple more hours.
Rain says, same here, Brian, LOL. And Jerry says, John, I was a junior in high school talking about feeling old. Wow. You just aged yourself. Ken says, John is the same age as 2.5 of my crackheads. Not funny says, just testing the merchandise. I think that's maybe you buying the stuff. I don't know if that's what that pertains to. Wig IQ says, y'all are babies in life. I'm 65. Wow. Well, it's all perspective. I'm sure there's a 90-year-old person saying, you're the baby. Mm-hmm. Anytime Picker says, happy birthday, John. Thanks, Roman. I appreciate you. Jerry Johnson says, Jenna, nail polish to a woman is like all the hats, caps to men.
That's right.
I just don't get it. I mean, it's like you should see the collection of makeup or what I call war paint that she has. It is crazy. Devon says, our Goodwill had a 50% off Friday scored. Awesome. I don't know if our Goodwills are even worth going to anymore.
I don't even go to them anymore.
Guy Guru says, do you use the heat guns for labels for anything that any like adhesive label? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have, when you try to peel the label off without it, it starts to rip, right? Nothing better than cleaning up your package and then getting it out there to take good quality pictures. You don't have like maybe a return label on it or anything that these stores put on it. Their price tag.
I like to take off the majority of the stickers that are on the outside of the box that don't pertain to us or eBay or the item itself. The heat gun works beautifully, and I've gotten down to a science with the what's the thing? The knife, the
box cutter.
Box cutter. The heat gun, the box cutter, so I'm not using my fingernails and ruining my nail polish.
Bearded Picker says, what are you doing with the small heat doing to the small heat guns? Mine is 6 years old.
John breaks everything.
They fall. Sometimes they fall
off the desk.
Yeah.
He's very bull in a china shop.
Could be.
And so, he's moving and he moves faster than he thinks he does. And so he's going and moving and taping and flipping and whatever. And
so the last one
just fall.
The last one we had, it's in the trash. The last one we had, it's like the little small one.
It's just the little crafting gun one.
I had to turn it on and bang it on the table. Bang it, bang it, bang it. Oh, it turned on. I can use it, and I'd move it the wrong way, it would turn off. Bang, bang, bang. Just try to get it hot, right? Because you want to get that label off.
Yeah.
Liquidation.
And I told him he couldn't have the one in the shipping room. I'm like, no, that's mine now.
Yeah. It's also the Porter Cable one, and those things can get hot. I had it set up too hot, and it started to burn the cardboard.
Yeah, it can.
So
you have to be careful.
Be very careful. Jackie has a question. I tried to refund a buyer for a return a couple hours ago. Money's still on hold, and it says return in progress. Does it take a while to go through, or did I do something wrong?
Sometimes it does.
So if you completed it, you've gone through the steps saying refund buyer, and it says to you how much that you're going to get back, after they give you your fees back. If you got that screen, then just know that your part is done. Now it's an eBay thing. I've seen it. It does take some time. I've had a buyer send me a message, when are you sending my refund? And it was like 2 hours later. Well, I sent him a screenshot. I already processed the refund. Just need to be patient. eBay will contact you. So they can probably by tomorrow, you'll have something from eBay, an email from eBay saying that it's gone through. Rockin' Yard Sale says eBay has to approve your refund, especially if you have deducted something on that refund. They run it by the buyer. They give the buyer 10 days and all that. But that money should still, whatever you decided to give the buyer, should still be on its way to the buyer. Maya says, to be honest, I think we're the better version of California as far as taxes and regulation goes, and that's in Maryland. I escaped from California, so I can kind of agree, even though I've really never been in Maryland. I think I've been in Maryland one time. Brian H. says, there's not much worse than receiving a letter in the mail from the IRS. It's like the one time it happened, it's like, oh no, what is this, right? Mike says, you're getting old when you can't remember your age. 3 years to 50 for me. Have a great B-Day tomorrow, John. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. 3 more years for 50. Well, to be honest with you, it don't feel much different than 47. Noah Design says, ass joke incoming. John's ass is so tight, if you shove a lump of coal in a week, you get a diamond. You stole that. You stole
What?
that. Yes, he stole that.
What?
That comment.
Ass joking.
John's ass
is so tight, if you shove a lump of coal in a week, you'll get a diamond.
You stole that from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Brian H says, we smoked one turkey and fried another.
Ooh, I want to do a fried one.
Fried one sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Sounds unhealthy, but it sounds good.
Junk Trader, we all agree politically in our family, so conversations don't get lit. LOL.
Oh, yeah, they're not allowed in our house.
Guide Guru says, if you have a lot of free time, it would seem to take forever. Amazon Seller 99, it's a written rule. Damn, you guys take your holiday get-together seriously.
Well, it's just something that gets really...
Did someone actually come out and say, from now on, we're not having this discussion? Or yes, I know we just don't do it.
It is, okay, it's so my sister has warned my mother and I not to speak about politics or another particular subject. And it's just not to be spoken of. We have our own opinions. We have our own beliefs. I am an adult and I'm allowed to be a free thinker, but some people don't agree with what I believe in, and that's that.
Mm-hmm. And that's how the cow ate the cabbage. Hill Valley Vintage says, happy birthday, John. Just celebrated mine yesterday. Even got another Giants win. It wasn't pretty, but that's 2 in a row.
Well, happy birthday.
Our team, our Raiders are falling apart at the seams. We're just, getting ready for next year is kind of what I'm looking at. Daniel Lesage from Baton Rouge says, yes, John, time does go by faster as you age. At year 83, up soon. I can definitely vouch for that. Coming up soon. I say up soon. Roman says, it was so dark in Cleveland today that since the morning I was falling asleep 50 times already.
Oh, God.
Mike says, I buy most of my inventory on eBay, and the majority of my transactions, 1,500 plus this year, go well. But you kind of know what sellers to stay away from based on pics and description. Yeah, if you look at a listing, you can tell who really takes the time to put together a good description. I was looking at having a conversation with Josh today. Probably something we're going to talk about more on the Power Hour this week. But looking at some of these titles, we're talking like 3-word titles, and they're still coming up on search. Items that we pull up in Best Match, they'll come up with 5,000 items in Best Match, but you go to low price plus shipping and only like 170 pop up. Where's the other 4,800 of these listings that you're just showing me? And it's certainly concerning. And I'm kind of getting off a different topic here, but I agree with what you're saying, Mike. I think I'm more and more convinced that something's going on. I mean, I know a lot of you say, no, duh, where have you been? But it takes for me more than just, I think that eBay is suppressing my listings to get me to think that that's actually a thing in this case, because I'm still getting sales. Sales are still happening. So why is it that maybe it's category specific, but why are some people reporting that, their items aren't coming up? This kind of confirms it for me a little bit. Why is it happening to some categories and not others? Why? And another thing I wanted to kind of throw out there, why is it that you see a iPhone case? You have these sellers that have iPhone cases for 99 cents, free shipping, and you think automatically, well, that's a seller in China, right? But they're selling out of New York. And even if they were selling out of New York, and this is the conversation I was having with Josh today, well, okay, they have to ship it from New York. They have a warehouse there. How are they getting a 99-cent item shipped and able to pay fees, cost of goods, which I'm sure is next to nothing on that kind of an item, and still make any kind of profit worth your while?
It's probably what do you call the Costco chickens.
There's a loss leader.
Loss leader.
But
maybe it's a loss
it's not
leader.
like that, because look, someone's looking for an iPhone 6 case. They see your 99-cent case. They're not in your store. They're on eBay, but they're not really in your store. They're not shopping around. I mean, if you
I see
if you are someone that, I have this really unique antique thing and I have other things in my store, and you set that one really unique antique item at a really good price and maybe put a blurb, we have other great deals in our store, I can maybe see you doing something like that, but not some seller randomly selling an iPhone case for 99 cents. It's just, I just don't understand it. Junk Trader says pretty much same weather here. Guy Greer says I had an eBay.
It's freezing here, just FYI.
It's cold.
It's
I like
cold.
it. I like the cuddle weather where you just snuggled up. I love that. Guy Greer says I had an eBay this morning reach out to me about listing some of their unlisted inventory on a consignment. Like, how bad of a seller are you? I didn't respond. I just think that even if you know the person really well, it's a recipe for a loss of friendship or a big disagreement at some point.
My sister asked me this weekend if I wanted to take some of her, all of the ... smile dresses that are super expensive that no longer fit my niece, and if I wanted to sell them and I could keep 50%. And I was like, absolutely not. There's too much. There's too many things that are attributed to it. You're not just selling a $30 dress for $30. There's fees. There's, it doesn't fit, returns. It's too much.
So that $30 dress brand new, you're not going to fetch anywhere near that.
Mm-mm.
And so
no, it's more like a lot more than that for brand new.
For that particular model?
They're ... smiles.
I don't know it.
It's a company that they're overpriced dresses, and my sister is a sucker for them, and she spends all her money on them.
So but what smile?
Yeah.
Only 2 dots?
Hold
on.
I
gotta see this for myself.
You spell smile. Out ... stupid. Oh. Come on. Wow.
Okay, so here's your verdict on that. Your ... smile dresses are going to go.
They're not going
$9.60. Okay. Bundle of 2 dresses, so $21 a piece. 17 dresses for $74. So you're looking at like $5 or $6 a dress. You think your sister would have been happy with that? That wouldn't have worked. Duncan says, I heard some sellers had 0 sales for Black Friday, while White Saturday and Cyber Monday turn on. I have that coming. It'll be here pretty soon. Good deals like that, right? I mean, deals that's like, wow, I did comp just to see what are eBay sellers selling this for. That Blink, the Echo Show, $39.99 on Amazon right now. If you go on to eBay, you have eBay sellers selling it for like 50 something plus shipping. So where are you going to go and buy your stuff if you can get deals like that? You're not going to go and buy from those people on eBay selling the same thing. Roman says, that's nice. I love that stuff. Big Dre says, hi, John and Jenna. First half of November was dead. Shipped out $240 of product today from the weekend. Just got a cha-ching. That must mean it's over $20. Added beauty products and books, sold 80 in each category, paid $16 for all the items. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. And yeah, I think November is a tough month, depending on what you're selling. Some people, they're killing it. I think I saw something from Ed, Hustle and Grow. This year, I think he has like over 1,000 items shipped, and that's pretty darn solid. Now, I don't know how many of those were within Q4, but I don't think I've seen him report having a bad Q4. Just really depends on what you're selling. I think someone like Tommy probably having a great Q4, or maybe on par with the rest of the year. I think his sales pretty much stay consistent, whereas some people might have great sales in Q4 and the rest of the year it kind of just sucks. So, to compare what I do to what someone else does, I think we get kind of caught into that. Someone comes on, posts something in the comments, and then we wonder, well, why am I not making the same sales as this person? Or why am I not having the same success as this person? And our circumstances, everyone's circumstances are entirely different. So it's really not a fair playing field to even try to figure out if I'm on par with someone else. Duncan says, Jenna, my birthday in January. Are you taking John to McDonald's for his birthday? Get him a Happy Meal. It really depends. If they're having Beanie Babies in the Happy Meal, I might go. And funny, we were talking about Beanie Babies. We were staying at her sister's house, and they have this case full of Beanie Babies. And I was going to take a picture of it. They had like this big display case of Beanie Babies. And I was going to take a picture and maybe ask you guys, how much should I offer for this, right? But Jenna's like, that's not going anywhere. It's like a family.
No, my mom and my dad have, when Beanie Babies were the thing and they were all, stoked to get them in I don't know if they were Happy Meals or where they were coming from, but they were collecting them. And they searched high and low to get all of the ones that they have. This case is literally from the top of that Flippin' Ain't Easy sign all the way down to the ground. And it's just filled with every Beanie Baby that you could possibly imagine. So it's something that they display in the playroom where the kids are. And so the kids aren't allowed to play with them, but it's as a decoration piece. So
yeah, if they do something and destroy the Beanie Babies, there's no value to insure or anything like that. Maya says, as far as my sales are non-existent Monday and Tuesday, but picked up on Poshmark and Mercari. Good sales weekend on those. I don't even care about eBay right now, so I didn't get many sales there.
Yeah, we didn't get any on Mercari, but we did get quite a few on Posh. I was pretty happy with Posh over the weekend, so that's good.
So Duncan says, what is your hourly rate worth for your eBay work? Are you making enough money for your time? I did a calculation of this last year because I was really contemplating with the bad sales in 2022. Maybe I do need to go back and check out the workforce, right? But the great jobs are not easy to find. And I think at the time I calculated it was like $23 something an hour. And that's what the sales I had last year. It's a lot more than that this year because we changed some things in our business, right? So I can't, right now what I'm doing is a lot better than when I ran my own department at that company I was telling you guys about. You guys know my story. Well, I mean, I was working in salary. I was having a discussion with a coworker at my party on Saturday, the person who was one of my lead agents underneath me, having a discussion. I would have left Amtrak. Well, I said it, didn't I?
They already know it's Amtrak.
Yeah, I know. I would have left that company a long time ago if I knew I could actually do what I'm doing now. But I mean, we don't know what we don't know, right?
We have doubled our income that we used to make at Amtrak.
I mean, she was working there, I was working there, and we're pretty much on par with that.
And we were, the little peons on the bottom of the totem pole. So we made very good money, but doing this business full time and changing the things that we needed to make changes in January was a huge
February, really, but yeah.
Well, January, February. But 2022, like I've said before, was a shit year. And we're here now.
2024? 2024 was a shit year? We might be saying that.
No. We 2022, I said.
You said 24.
I thought I said 2022.
But don't put that out there. Let's
2024 is going to be for 2024. Amazing, like fireworks.
But Duncan, I think that is an important question. I'm glad you mentioned it because I think every reseller should be asking themselves that question. How much are you making for the time that you're putting into your business? A serious question. Are you making, first of all, if you're making enough to pay your bills, I guess it just doesn't even matter. If you're happy reselling, your bills are paid. I mean, it really doesn't matter. But if you're contemplating going back to the workforce,
See, Scott said I said 2020.
I got to tell you, if I could return back to the company that I was at for 4 more years, just 4 more years, and the discussion did come up that maybe there's work from home stuff coming up, I would go back for 4 more years to get my retirement, my 30 years. You get 30-60. So basically you have 30 years with the railroad, 60 years of age, you can retire at 60. Without that, I'm 4 years shy of that threshold, and then therefore I have to retire at 67. So for me, it's worth putting in another 4 years. So I would do everything I'm doing now, not for her, but for me, I would be doing everything I'm doing now, reselling. I'd still do the videos, and I'd work full time. I don't know how I'd pull that off, but I would make that work if I could do it. Guy Greer says, my sale started Friday and ends tonight. Probably will send out 10% offer to watchers in case some lurkers missed out after sale is done. I just offers to watchers are kind of I almost think it's more worth sending an offer to watchers to get the boost that you get than to get the sale from the watcher, to be honest with you. Yeah, you get some people that'll take your offer, but I had someone, it was funny, I had an item that I had a semi lowball offer, and I'm like, no, if I had this listed, I just listed this item, I'm going to come back and give them my best price. And I did that, right? Got no response from them. And 30 minutes later, I got full ask from someone else on that item. So
that happens all the time on my account.
Big Dre says, I barely added any of my DVDs, but already sold $100 worth with 2 sales. I paid $4 for them total. There you go.
Sweet.
There you go.
Like that.
Mike Gertis says, our Supply Hut box is better now. Bought some 2 years ago, and I like the quality. This past year, quality was not good. And I knew Beard was going to say something. Never had a problem, Mike. I use them daily. Go check out Beard's link in his last video, and I'm sure that he'll have a discount code in there for you.
No, it's already in there.
Is it already in there? Okay, I knew he'd do that too, but just in case, go check out Beard's channel for his link if you want a deal on boxes.
He put it in there.
I didn't see it. Maybe it's down below.
You scrolled too far.
Okay. Duncan, my block bidder list is like a phone book. All the troublemakers get blocked. Still got no returns, but I had to refund one winging he didn't receive. One winging he didn't receive? I don't know. Duncan VR, eBay does not allow for slow mail in November and December. Unfortunately, they don't. They should add another day buffer in there, but
that's never.
But again, eBay is in competition with these other sites. So if a buyer is considering, like, why would I buy from eBay if everything's telling me I'm going to get it like the 1st of December, where Amazon and all these other sites are telling me I'm going to get it in 2 days?
Yeah.
Noah Design says, I spy with my eye a new Green Bay jersey behind John.
And that's what I was shaking my head at.
No, this is anybody willing to guess the player? This is an older Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. This is one of the jerseys I picked up.
Hold it still.
Well, it's
the camera's having a hard time.
Number 39. And it's one of the jerseys I picked up 3 for $10 at the yard sale. Number 39, anyone can guess who that is from a few years back? Okay, I'll tell you who it is. It's Willie Parker, the running back. And I ended up getting 2 of these. They're NFL official. I think it's NFL apparel. And one of them is brand new with tags, Cordell Stewart, and it's that one's a Nike. Patricia
Did you
says,
say it was Franco Harris?
No, that's Willie Parker.
Oh.
Patricia says, got a pair of pants from a seller. They sent the wrong pants and they had an undisclosed hole in the fabric in the thigh. Seller's fighting me on the return. Well, if you bought it on eBay, there is no fight.
There is no fight.
You open it as item not as received, or not as described, and you just return it. They're on the hook for the return label. Now, if they want to fight, they're going to open themselves up to have it timed out. They'll just pretend it's not there, that you'll go away and you get to keep the item and get your money back. And I'm sure that's not your goal, but some of these sellers, I mean, they need to get on board with the idea that returns are going to happen. And it's never a good idea to fight a buyer, even if they claim something that's not happening with the item. Just take the return and deal with eBay, report them. after the return is received back.
Patricia said, seller says they aren't, excuse me, seller says they aren't the pants they sent. So they're telling her she's lying.
Oh, okay. So, well, then they're going to have to take that up with eBay. If they're saying that you returned you swapped out a pair of pants, maybe for a different pair of pants, they can deduct up to 50% using the refund tool if they feel that strongly about it. But then you can dispute the refund, and eBay is going to make you whole out of their pocket, and the seller is going to be able to keep the 50% that they've kept out of your refund. Ken says, I said Green Bay because it looks like Green Bay yellow they use. Could be the A's though. Nope.
And that's why I was over here going like this.
Amazon seller says sales for us are kind of good on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and Shopify. Sales on eBay are worse. I do think the platform is having issues. I'm starting to see what a lot of people are saying in just some of the experiments that I've been running. People have sent me messages saying to try this and that, and it doesn't make sense. You could do a search on best match, get 3,000 results on an item. Go in and do a lowest price plus shipping, get 180 items. Then you go in and do highest plus shipping, and you're going to get more results than you had with the first search, best match, by a lot. So how does that work out? Where were those results in the first place? I mean, best match should be everything, and then things, as you use the filter, things should be pared down. That makes sense.
Yeah, but eBay doesn't make sense.
I know. But they are trying to become, and I was talking to Beard about this on Josh Galt's Live today. A lot of times you'll do that with Amazon. And you'll ask for a certain item. I know they have this brand and this item, and they'll show other things. And unfortunately, this idea that AI is considering what you've looked up before, what you've bought before, in that search term, I think it's just wrong. I mean, just because I bought, a toilet seat today doesn't mean that you should consider that toilet seat when I'm buying something totally unrelated. It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's the way they think that you guys, it's almost like we know more about what you want than what you want, if that makes sense. Nick Picker says,
haven't had any sales on Bonanza, have we?
No, I haven't. I checked today. Had my first Bonanza sale today. Is there a way to easily print shipping label on a 4x6 thermal label printer? Not really. And they don't do a good job of helping you do that. You can go in and do a screen grab and just outline the label, save it as a file, then print it from like your photo viewer on Windows, and it'll come out. If you have it like 150 by 100 mm is the dimensions you'd use, it'll print, but it'll be very faint. And I'm afraid the barcode won't be scannable. So on those packages, I just send it to my laser, cut it out, tape it the old fashioned way, the beginner way, and just go with it, because I don't care so much if I have a label on it, a 4x6 label on it, or just a cutout, as long as it gets to the buyer. That's what I'm more concerned about. Duncan says Jenna wants a 7-foot tree because she thinks John will put more presents underneath the tree for her. Just hope no toilet seat wrapped up under the tree. No, she got what she asked for. It wasn't cheap either, but she got what she asked for.
I have one present.
And she got it. So she already knows what it is, because this thing required me to customize it, and I didn't know what the hell to get. So I had to involve her in that decision. Patricia has to paste a couple of 3 cereal boxes together to wrap a toilet seat. Can you imagine that? I ordered a toilet seat, and Here comes every reason. It's packed in every reason that I have to use the toilet seat a little extra, because I have all these toilet seats covered with like things you shouldn't be eating. Duncan says, I'm scared to ask for a Christmas present from John. It would come in a cereal box for sure. For you, because it's going to be so expensive to ship to Australia, yeah, it might come in a cereal box. It may not get there in very good shape, though.
We don't even eat cereal, so there's no way we'd even have a cereal box in this house.
Don't eat cereal. Jeff Zenick says, I just now got my quarterly $25 eBay shipping supply coupon and got some bubble envelopes from the eBay shipping store. Yep.
You must have been last on the list.
No, you get them at the beginning of the quarter. You just forget to use them. Abdi Latif.
Just got it.
Just got it. Just went and got it. What is the best
Oh,
U.S. suppliers for eBay drop shipping?
Negative.
Well,
we don't do any drop shipping.
We really don't do a whole lot of we don't do any drop shipping.
No.
But yeah, U.S. suppliers, you're probably going to look at Home Depot or Amazon to start off with. But there's some channels out there that are dedicated to that kind of thing. Oh, Ken says, okay, my ADHD is going nuts. The scale is missing behind Jenna. A new weird jersey behind John. Mystery boxes and bins behind John. Hey, look, a squirrel. Well, Ken, I'm glad you're getting a lot of solid information.
I'm glad you're watching the video.
Guy Guru says, if you're drop shipping, you don't need supplies, right? That's an odd question. Probably not many drop shippers in the chat. No, it's a question of suppliers. Where can I go as a good place to find someone to buy product A to list on eBay? But there's drop shippers out there that send me messages all the time and want to know about drop shipping. I just can't. The eBay grind grandma says, hi guys, catching a show finally. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. That is awesome.
If she's still
I know,
here,
30 minutes later, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. 30 minutes later. Patricia says eBay does not like drop shipping. They don't, but they tolerate it. See, they could get rid of drop shippers like that if they wanted to. That's not me. eBay just chooses not to because that's money they'd be losing in sales if they got rid of those folks. Larry Todd's here. Thanks for being here. His beard says a clean package is important. Yes, it is. Got to get those labels off. Gravity Goods Cameron says, sounds like a commercial for your OnlyFans, John. Nothing like cleaning your package and getting it ready to take good pictures. Believe me, I would have absolutely zero people if I had an OnlyFans. That would not be a thing. Christine Moses says it's always good to have a clean package before taking pictures. Patricia says heat gun is so much better than a hairdryer because the hairdryer kind of disperses the heat. And it just, yeah, this Porter Cable one is worth the $28. Duncan VR says, when you're deep in thought, reading on the screen, and your wife interrupts your chain of thought, do you A, lose your cool, or B, just say, yes, dear? Kind of both in my mind, but I try to keep my composure for you guys. Let's see. John says, hi, Jen and John. Think about it, John. You have 50 years of eBay selling to go before you can retire. Happy birthday, and remember to keep listing. All the best. Yeah, I could tell you my retirement's not going to replace my current level of income. It's just going to supplement it. And the idea of being able to get it for 4 years early is really appealing to me. Diane Propson says, we have ordered a cheap item once. Location on the listing said California. We got the confirmation it was coming from California. So then that's right then, right? Probably not from California. I don't know. Let me see if I can get to another comment. Duncan says, never profit share selling someone else's stuff for them. You're doing all the work and dealing with any returns, etc., paying all the fees, and then explaining why that $100 dress is only selling for $10 on eBay. Mary says, it's funny because my family said no politics, yet some tend to still bring it up. It's free reign from there. So when they go there, right?
Yeah.
Amazon seller says the family wants to give you good stuff to sell. Cool. If they want half, tell them lovingly to pound sand. Mm-hmm. Because can you imagine? She would have taken her up on the offer. It's like now trying to explain, okay, here's your $20. Should I sell it to you? To
someone who does not understand what our business is at all.
But that's just it. Most people who want to get someone to sell stuff for them do not understand all that goes into it, nor do they understand the market. They know what they paid for it, but they don't understand that it's only a fraction of what they paid for it.
It's kind of like when you drive a car off the lot, it automatically loses 10 grand.
Tommy says, I don't get a big increase for Q4. It stays similar and sometimes drops a little bit. Not many gifting pre-owned shoes. LOL. Poshmark picks up a bit, though.
I shipped how many shoes today?
We sold quite a bit.
We sold a lot of pre-owned shoes this weekend. I literally spent all evening last night shipping shoes.
And we had one pair that was a pair of Jordans, I think Air Force Jordans.
They're Air Force ones.
The Air Force ones with the box. And of course, it's authentication. And I told Jenna, put this, double box it. I don't care if you have to put it in a bigger box. Those labels that you get from the authentication are FedEx labels. and it's good for a 20 by 20 by 20 box up to, I think they said 30 pounds. So
that's what you told me.
Yeah, so that's what it said. So don't be afraid if you have shoes that go to the authenticator and you just don't have the right fit, then go bigger on the box. Just, pad it with, bubble wrap or whatever, so that it doesn't go like sliding around.
My thing is I don't want to use my own boxes to send stuff to authentication because they take it out of the package anyway.
Yeah.
And they use their own.
Larry Way Out says, my eBay sales were sweet for the last week. Sold 109 items on eBay and one Facebook sale. There you go.
Sweet.
There you go.
Good job, Larry.
We have Karen Wolven says, I'm a part-time seller. Sales have been lousy. Put my store on sale on Monday at 30% off and stopped promoting. Have sold nearly $600 this week.
That's good.
And you're getting those buyers who are sorting by lowest plus shipping. I'm certain of that. So you don't have to promote when you're dealing with that. Grumpy Granny, thanks for being here. Good morning, John and Jenna. Just Tuesday morning there in Australia.
Granny.
I've just finished my daily nuclear store reset. And now I'm doing my shipping, including 3 parcels going international.
Yay.
Speaking of 3 parcels, what did the carrier say when he picked up 3 big Santa bags?
It wasn't Sal. It was.
Oh no, they made us even worse.
Well, Mondays we never have Sal.
Okay.
And so I go, I have a lot, and she's like, it's okay. And I said, but they're all bagged, and she's like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And I had to help her carry.
You did remind her to scan it if she could?
Yeah, she said she'll scan it when she gets to the station.
Okay.
But I told her to keep the bags. I said, just keep everything in the bags so they're not flying all over the truck because we have plenty of bags.
So Bob says, nice pickup on the jersey. Thanks. I have another one just like it. It's the same jersey pretty much that I have listed. That's why this isn't listed yet. I have it only for like $30-40 plus shipping, and it hasn't sold. The new one with tags, I think the Cordell Stewart is $99.99 plus shipping. Maybe that's a little overpriced, but start high and lower it if you need to, and I may need to do that here pretty soon. Patricia says, seller says they aren't the pants they sent. Okay, that's the one we were talking about earlier. John says, hi, Jen and John. The best feeling in the world is getting up and doing what you like doing every day, especially if you're making a living at it, is the best of all worlds. Yeah. And confirmation of that is when you're out and about, like out of town, doing things that should be taking your mind off the business, and you're thinking about the business. Am I the only one that I'm thinking about the business, and part of me misses the work, which made it easier for me to whip out the laptop and to just figure out, okay, I can maybe compile a list of things on the other store to lot up,
Well, I was proud of him this weekend. So Thursday, of course, was Thanksgiving. We had the big family thing. But then Friday, we did nothing. And we sat and watched movies with our nieces and my sister and her boyfriend. And so we just kind of hung out, snacked, and all the leftovers and stuff, and then ended up going to the store and getting some steaks to grill for John's celebration birthday from my sister.
That I had to grill, by the way.
Yeah. Because my sister's boyfriend was putting electrical into the garage. They have a new build house, and the electricians didn't put a light switch for the door that goes from the outside of the garage to the backyard. And so he wanted a light switch there. And so he was doing that most of the day. So he ended up starting to barbecue the steaks.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't mind doing it. It was cool. So
Maya you didn't have to pay for it.
Maya says, my issue with eBay is it is really hard to look up comps and sell-through rate. I don't even know how to decide what to pick up when the sell-through numbers aren't even accurate. Now, this is something I think every seller on some level struggles with. Otherwise, the stores that we accumulate would have no items. Those items would sell, boom. As soon as you get them in your store, they'd sell, right? I think that's that whole resell nirvana thing that Patricia was talking to me about on the Power Hour. It's fairly soon after you list it, that item's gone. It's so hot, it's such a good listing, such a good price that it's gone. But who has that kind of a store where they don't accumulate items? We do our best as resellers to evaluate the data that we have. Now, hopefully you're using some kind of data or you're recollecting, but even markets change. So what sold for you 6 months ago may not be as hot of an item. So that's why it's always a good idea to kind of look at the sold comps. Use Terapeak if you want to mess with that on your phone. But just to get an idea, and all you're doing is making so what do they call it, a hypothesis. You're making an educated guess to say, is this worth buying? And if the data supports it, that doesn't mean you're going to sell it right away. It means you have a very good chance, but it's going to be in your store probably for a little while before it moves. Even the best stores, like folks like Tommy or others out there, they buy stuff that they have a good indication that the item's going to sell, but for whatever reason, it doesn't move. Sales are really tricky. We did that changeover from international shipping on the other account. We've had fairly decent sales on that account, but items that we've had in that account for years sold.
Yeah, it's
shortly thereafter.
wild.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
This thing, I was that close to throwing it in the trash can, and it sold. So I don't know. That's the biggest question. How do you figure out what to leave at the yard sale and what to buy that's going to sell like that? And I really don't think there's a way to know that. Guy Guru says, I normally don't bad feedback, but that would seem like a disservice to everyone if you didn't.
She's talking about Patricia's pants.
Oh, okay.
She said, Guide, I'm seriously concerned.
Yeah. So Thomas, I don't see any issues with eBay, but also I'm not wasting any time looking up random things. Works flawlessly 100% of the time for finding what I search daily. And Tommy, if I didn't have this channel, I probably wouldn't really be spending the time. If I didn't have the Power Hour and this channel, because I'd like to be able to speak to some of the complaints that people have, that they leave comments saying, hey, my items are not showing up, or check this search result and see what I'm seeing here. Why is it showing this here, but when I refine the search, I'm seeing more? It's frustrating for people, and part of the reason for this channel is to try to help in any way I can. So I do spend time, and of course, it gives me something to try to find a subject to talk about. That's one of the biggest things on running a YouTube channel, is not being repetitive, talking about the same thing over and over again. So I'm with you on that. I would be spending more time on my business than looking up information that doesn't affect me. Yeah. If these searches don't hurt your business, you're making the sales you expect, then why would you spend that kind of time? But someone who's not getting sales is probably going to be more interested to get in there, even when maybe that's not really the reason that's hurting their sales, if you know what I mean. It works, says, I've been selling on Bonanza for a while. I know I got that wrong, but I keep trying to get that right, and I can't. I've been selling on Bonanza for a while. It was always just a small amount compared to eBay, but this is the first time Bonanza sales were almost equal to eBay. Wow. I had two this month. One on Beard's channel.
One more than we normally have.
One during Beard's Live, and I was the only person, like the 100-some people that were watching, that had a Bonanza sale, I'm sure, at that moment or within that 2-hour period.
Of course.
Guide Guru said, that's crazy. Could have something to do with eBay now using off-site promo, which has eliminated good search results unless
Google. It's supposed to be Google.
Okay, Google search. See, that's, you guys are throwing like curveballs at me here. Google search results unless you're in the promotion. Devon notices the Ford helmet. I haven't done anything with it. I just haven't decided what I want to do with it. I'm not a big fan of Ford. I don't care. I thought it was a cool piece. Want to end up listing it. I'm just not sure. What price would you guys start this? How would you list it? Would you do auction? Would you do it on a fixed price? What do you think? If there's no comps for it, what would you do? Not, even sure I should be listing it with Ford on it. It's not made by Ford. It's a Riddell helmet with the Ford logo, vinyl logo on the sides. Yeah. Maya usually filters down pretty specifically, but still consistently see issues. For example, the best match search doesn't seem to understand the difference between waist and inseam. Yeah, and then Sniptastic says eBay sucks. Some people feel that way. Okay. And then Patricia says John has a lonely fans. Oh, geez. Noah Design says, I think John is waiting for the rest of the tires to sell it as a set. Oh,
because
geez.
Maya asked, has the tire sold yet?
No, it hasn't. And, I figure, put it up, see if I can make some money off of that nonsense. Brian H says, John, I know there's no dumb questions, but what is drop shipping? Drop shipping is when you buy, okay, you don't buy anything. You don't buy items to sell. You go onto a website. I see this item for 20. Wow, I could sell it on eBay for 30. So let me list this item. I'll even take their pictures from this, let's say Home Depot, and I'll use a third-party program to help me do it fast. And I'll get these listings made with that information, and then I'll list it for 30 like everyone else is, and it'll sell. And then I'll take their information when I go to run the label, and I'll go over to Home Depot's website and I'll buy it from them with their address information with my credit card, and they'll ship it to this person. I'll just upload the tracking. So it'll show eBay that I fulfilled it within like the 2 or 3 day handling time you have. Mm-hmm. And it works. It works for some. And usually you run that at a 5 to 10% margin after all your fees, and you have no inventory to deal with. And you build big stores on a large scale. And if you get, say, a dozen sales of $10 in a day, you made $120, or you know what I'm saying. Let's see. You always get better results when you just search from web or images. Is the pay-per-click only for the Google shopping? I think so, but I'm not quite sure. Someone who's used it can probably tell you. I haven't jumped into that part of Google shopping. Larry Way Out says, Jenna, are you from Missouri? I see the Mizzou hoodie. I am from St. Charles.
No, I'm not from Missouri. This sweatshirt belonged to John's dad.
Yeah.
He was from Missouri.
Yeah.
And this was his sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I kind of felt it a little
Mizzou.
little fitting for the holidays.
Bam on his side of the family is from Missouri, from Centralia, over by Columbia, Missouri, not too far from there. Jovial Juggler says, what is the eBay 100 promotional credit all about? I think they're trying to get you to do that offsite ads, and they give you $100 if you spend, I think, $150 in those promotions. I did see it pop up one time when I signed on. Never did it come back again, and I didn't lose any sleep over it. It's not something I probably would do. Let's see. Silver hair Larry Todd says, that's my hero phrase, Tommy. Work little makes lots. Yep, that's the key. If you can find a way to work little and make more, that's why the whole high ASP per item to me just makes sense, because if I list 5 items, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if I list 5 items and I count how much money I put in my store. So if I put $700 in my store with those 5 items, and I sell 3 and make $400, well, that's going to be easier for me to deal with. Not a whole lot of shipping, not a whole lot of listings with 5 listings. You're just making more money out of the time you put in it. I just think, and I that's why I think it's just a better business model. So I do like the work little, make lots slogan there. Brian H says, sucks when you have to grill your own steaks on your birthday. Well, they said, hey, we grabbed some steaks. We were going to grill them. I'm like, hey, I'll do it. Yeah, I was cool with it. So if I wasn't in the mood to, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. But no, I like to grill. It's any excuse I can get to grill, I do it.
Thrifty
Loon says, hey, guy to guru. So I think we are at the 2-hour mark, guys. And great conversation. Had a good time with you guys. And just want to, thank you guys for the super chats, the well wishes in the comments. The next live we do, I'm going to be on the wrong side of 50. I'm sure I'm going to be joining many of you there. So it's not that big of a deal. But for me, when you have that milestone, it's kind of a thing. And so, it is what it is. As far as the taxes, guys, that's news that I was kind of expecting to happen. The $600 1099K threshold is no more, at least for this year. Do with that information what you will. Celebrate or just kind of shrug like I do. It's not affecting me any. But figuring that out, how it affects you, is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. I want you guys to have a great start to your week. Get those Cyber Monday sales. More importantly, get stuff for your business that you can use at a decent price. And until next time, guys, have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.
Have a great week, guys. Bye.